Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I do have a little bit of news for you. I just had to get through that big cookbook project first before I laid this one on you. My husband and I and our family, we have decided to move to France permanently. I know. Well, how did we get here? If you're new to my channel and you've just started following me, let me back it up a bit and I'll give you the short version. 24 years ago, I married a Frenchman in France. We settled in the United States and we've been living here happily ever since. We bought our first house about 15 years ago, the house that I'm in now. It was a foreclosure, a hot mess of a place that needed a complete redo. I launched a YouTube channel because I love to cook and entertain. Then we built a beautiful vegetable garden and then I launched a garden channel. So ever since we had our first baby, our eldest daughter, we brought her to France and that just started these yearly trips to France. We really wanted to make sure that we had a bicultural family, that our kids were bilingual, and the best way to do that was to expose them to the French relatives that don't speak a word of English. And we started renting these houses that soon became home. And then we said, why don't we just invest in a property? Let's get something that we can afford, something really cheap that needs a ton of work, and we'll put just a little bit of money into it and see if we can rent it out, and hopefully it would pay for itself. Well, cut to 3 years later, that's exactly what happened. And a few of you have actually rented this house and it's been so fun to see you enjoy it as much as we do. And every summer that we're there, it's just a little bit harder to come back. I think the interesting thing that I have learned about marrying somebody outside my own country and culture is that when you marry that person, you're also marrying that culture. So everything you do, the way you raise your kids, the way you travel, what you prioritize, the culture and the countries, they kind of marry each other. And I think that's just been a really strong priority for my husband and I. We really wanted that. We wanted that for each other. We wanted that for our kids. My husband has been here for over 30 years. And I think there just comes a time when the foreigners want to go back. And I'm really sort of looking forward to that. It's just sort of funny how it's now going to flip, where I'm going to be the foreigner. For years, my poor husband was the foreigner and he was the butt of all the jokes. And, you know, people were sort of like trying to understand his accent. And now I'm going to go to France and people are going to be like trying to understand my accent. So as soon as the cookbook project wrapped, literally the next day, we started packing things up. And the tricky thing is, for those of you that have been following all of my French vlogs every summer, you know that we have a fully furnished house in France, all ready to go, down to the teaspoons. So we really can't bring a lot of stuff there because we just don't have the need for it or the room for it. And that, my friends, is starting the very difficult process of how do we get rid of all of this stuff. So we're getting pretty successful cleaning out the garage. We just have a few more donations to make, but I'm very proud at how cleaned out this garage is. The only thing that I cannot get rid of, and I don't know why nobody wants it, is this treadmill. It's a great treadmill and I use it like every day. I'm out here and I don't know how to get rid of it. So if anybody has any ideas how to get rid of a treadmill, let me know. Okay, I will show you what I decided to bring. It's a very small amount of stuff, but just so you can get a sense, these are the clothes. So we're really only bringing about 2 per person. This is kind of like winter coats, winter jackets, stuff like that, bags. And then we're each bringing maybe 1 or 2 suitcases. I luckily already have a lot of clothes over there, if you remember from my packing videos. And if you haven't seen those videos, I'll link to them below. If you're traveling to Europe this summer, I have some great ideas for how you can mix and match, but I left all those clothes there. So I basically have 2 full summer wardrobes. So I really don't need to bring a lot of stuff at all. I have reduced all of my props and sentimental trinkets to these items. Can you believe it? Most importantly, is all of our Christmas ornaments. I had to bring all of those. So we have all the Christmas ornaments. We have these little paintings that are sentimental. I'm bringing these. This one is so funny. This one I actually got in France. And I've always loved it because I've always seen myself as that woman on the shores. This looks very much like where our house is on the Vendée coast. And there's my husband and he's collecting his little seashells. So I'm bringing this back. And that is happening with a lot of these things that I found in France at all these brocants. I'm bringing them back to France now and repatriating all of them. Just kind of like a joke, but those are some of my favorite things. I'm also bringing a few wedding presents, right? Gotta bring those. I love these carafes. These were gorgeous. These were given to me by a friend. So I am bringing those. My cake stands, these were also wedding presents, a little compote. My grandmother's cookie platter, I need to have that with me, that's coming. My daughter's favorite teapot is also coming. I know this is silly to bring these because they'll probably end up all smashed, but I really love these hurricane globes. You can get them on Amazon, but I can't find them on French Amazon. And I've been looking for the last few summers, so I'm gonna try to bring them. They're just really tall and they just are great, especially outside in the summertime when you have candles. So I'm gonna see if those are gonna make the trip. We will see. These are very sentimental to me. My dad gave me these. They're by an American potter. And sometimes I use them for entertaining or sometimes I put flowers in them. I wanted to keep them because my dad gave them to me, but also I just wanted something American potter. So I'm gonna bring those. I'm bringing a bunch of these pictures that my dad did. I just love his artwork. So we are gonna bring these. I love the sentiment here. It says, why is it we ask the constant question? Why? Why the end? And yet God provides us each with spring and winter. I think that is very poignant and true. I'm bringing all of my cake pans because bundt pans, things like this, these are hard to get in France. So they're coming. Bringing just a couple of pieces of family china. I'm not bringing all of it because I'd be afraid it would all break. And plus my sister is coming to town in about a week or so and she wants a lot of it. So we're gonna give them to her. I've had it for about 10 years. Now it's her turn. And then there are all of these little sentimental things, right? My eldest daughter's first toy, Lampkin, we have to bring him. Tutu, this is another little stuffed animal from my other daughter. We gotta bring him. Punch bowls, these Christmas trees. I'm like obsessed with these things. I thought they would be really great at Christmas time on that long table. They're very lightweight. I really want to bring these. Cookbooks, some of my favorites. Hard drives of all my videos. A couple of other just sentimental things that I love to entertain with. They're all in this box. We're also bringing a few sentimental pieces of artwork like this Paris painting. This painting was done by a family friend and I have just always loved it. It reminds me a lot of our first trip to Paris together, where we spent a lot of time walking on the banks of the Seine. So we are going to bring this painting. Family photo albums, art from the kids. I mean, look at this, the Halloween bat. How can we not bring him? My daughter made that when she was about 3. And then this is the one for Thanksgiving. I mean, these are the things that I just put out every year. I have to bring those. I'm really excited about this because I've always had a dream of living in a foreign country, especially France, because it's near to my heart. And I think you just get to a place in life when you're maybe in your mid-50s, which is where I am now, where you just need a new challenge. You just kind of want that next third act of life and what that looks like. I think the hardest part for me is leaving my parents. As you guys know, we are super close. They are very involved in our lives and have been for many years. So part of the stipulation with my husband moving to France is that I need to come back here at least 2 times a year. And he has so many miles on Air France, it won't be that big of a deal. So, because he traveled a lot for business back and forth. So that's the deal. And of course, George. George is coming too. Right, George? I know. George, don't worry. You're coming to France. We're packing you too. If you want to go to France, baby, you got to get in a crate. I know. Well, let's see. So the pet traveling company sent us this little poster, and the idea is you're supposed to line up your dog to see what size kennel he could fit into. But I couldn't get George to kind of go profile to see what size he would be. He wasn't really cooperating that well. Okay, look, George, I need you to cooperate because we need to make sure we get you the right size kennel. We don't want you to be too squished. So come on. I ended up going with the larger size, the number 500, because that way he'd be able to turn around in the crate, which seemed like a good idea. A few weeks later, when the crate actually arrived, he wasn't so sure about it. We were all watching with anticipation, hoping he would just jump right in it, but that was not the case. Go on in there. You got it. I know, you got this, George, you got it. So we decided to start to put treats in it. Every day we'd throw a few new treats in there, hoping he would go in there. Eventually it worked. Oh, look at you. Okay, you've had enough? Okay. So this has all been a bit of a whirlwind trying to get this house cleaned out. We also had, my eldest daughter graduating high school, the prom, trying to get her settled for college next year. She's going to be going to school in Italy, which I'm so excited about because now that we're moving to France, we're going to be on the same time zone. Yay. I think she's kind of like, wait a minute, this was my adventure and now you guys are coming too. So here's what will stay the same and here's what's going to change. I will still be doing my French vlogs this summer. I know many of you really look forward to those, as do I. And it's out of necessity because all of my camera equipment and tripods, that's all coming by boat. So I won't have all of my gear until probably end of September. So I'm gonna have to use my iPhone. One thing that might change a little bit is I'll probably have a lot more French recipes to share because I'm gonna be over there and will be inspired by so many of them. I'll still be sending out my weekly newsletters with new recipes and new videos, but I'm gonna be adding something different. So I know that there are people out there that follow my French vlogs because you too really love France and you are a Francophile. And so if you've ever wondered about what it would be like to pull up stakes and go move to France, let me go first and I'll tell you all about it. So I really love the writing process that I worked on during the cookbook project. So I wanted to be doing more of that. Pictures as well as stories of what it's like to transition living there full time. So that will be part of my paid community on Substack. So if you're already a member of that, you can look for those. I'll probably do maybe 1 or 2 a month. And if you're not a paid subscriber, feel free to join the community. It's $5 a month and that will get you these essays as well as travel vlogs. We're going to be trying to travel at least once a month to new places in and around France. And I can give you my pics of where we stayed and what we did. So it's just for those who want to get deeper into this moving to France experience. The paid community will allow you to do that, and I will leave you a link below. All right, you guys, so that is what has been going on with me. That's why you have not seen me, because I have been in this whirlwind of a move. But I'm really looking forward to being in France this summer and sharing the whole experience with you guys. Stay tuned. Bye.